here is a short and quick team building guide. For most teams, you're going to want the Holy Trinity, which is a tank, healer, and a DPS. Some people will try to tell you, oh no, you don't need a healer or you don't need a tank. If you learn how to dodge specific content, you can even beat it with glass cannons. However, the issue is you're going to have AI characters on your team, your 3 other characters except your lead, that are often going to just face tank skill shots, or as a new player, you're not just going to be good enough to do that. Some people will tell you otherwise. They'll be like, just learn, except it's not a realistic possibility. You generally just want to follow it because it's simple. It actually allows you to enjoy the game and the story, which is the best aspect of Guardian Tales. It lets you have fun instead of having to worry. So you would want to follow that. Let me show you a quick little option. Let's say, for example, I want to run an Earth team. I don't have a lot of unique heroes. Let's say I use Aoba, which is a rare hero, which you will easily obtain, and you can even obtain for free. I'll also use Craig. This is a healer. This is a tank. Now I need a DPS. Let me use Mayreal. While she is a unique hero, this is pretty much a solid team. You can round this off with any compilation that is similar. So I could remove Aoba, I could remove Mayreal, and I could run Maya, and for example, let's say Mr. Right? This team also works. It's a DPS, tank, and a healer. So what can you use the 4th slot for? Well, it can be quite a lot of things. I could run another tank, right? I could run Future Princess here. It's a possibility. I could even run another DPS hero, right? Let's switch it out for First Corps Commander, who also acts as a technical support because she lowers enemy defense with a mark. So this would also be not a bad team because you have a tank, healer, a DPS, and a sub DPS or support. Let's look at, for example, some other different team comps. Let's look at double tank, healer, and a DPS, right? I'm just using a DPS, any DPS as an example. It doesn't mean they're the best DPS for that option. I'm just using a DPS to demonstrate you guys what it would be. This would also be a solid team because it's a DPS, healer, tank, and then even another tank for survivability, but that's too much often. You generally don't want to overcrowd your team like that. The best teams are often something similar to this, where you have healer, you have a tank, you have a DPS, and then you have a sub DPS / support. Now you could change this team around quite a bit actually. In fact, I could remove Maya for Kamael, because with Yunhai and Kamael healing, it's quite solid healing, and I may not need a dedicated healer. Or I might just have enough healing with these 4 to not need a dedicated tank. I can't cover every single possible team combination that's like this, where they can do this, or you can use it on a certain stage, or you can use it in a certain content. For example, in boss rusher raids, you'd want full DPS, so fully dedicated healers or fully dedicated tanks are horrible in content such. However, a fully dedicated healer and a fully dedicated tank is super vital in Colosseum. Otherwise, your team is going to get blown to bits or you won't last in a fight. For story, it's often a mix match of all of those things. You will generally want a tank and you will generally want a healer, regardless of what anyone tells you. Whether they tell you, just dodge all the bosses, it's okay. It's realistically not possible. The other character AIs on your team are going to face tank every single thing. If you play through World 10, World 11, any passages beyond that, World 12, World 13, 14, 15, 16, any of those passages, your tank will always somehow manage to sit in front of a mage or sit in front of a bunch of skill shots. Your healer, your backline, will always manage to do it. You can only control one character on your team, which is your lead character. So generally, if your team does wipe, it's not just going to be because your lead died, it's going to be because the rest of your team died that resulted in your lead dying. So team building is a very important process because it's what allows you to do content. You want the healer, tank, and DPS combo unless you're doing raids or boss rushes or anything along the lines that require pure DPS. So hopefully this helped. I will try to make a much more in-depth team building guide, but there's quite a few resources out there on that. So hopefully this helped, and if it did, subscribe, like, and maybe comment your thoughts down on it or anything else you'd like to hear. Any questions you need answered, you can ask in the official Discord or in the comments below. Either is fine. And yeah, hopefully it helped. Subscribe, and I'll see you all later.